how would you describe yourself? Who is Kiwan Leung?
Who is Kiwan Leung? Kiwan Leung is just a guy with some passion for music, passion for street fashion, passion for what's happening in the urban cities, basically. I had no background in what I wanted to do, dropped out of college, wanted to do something in the music, so I just started to write letters to music companies, got a job as a copywriter 25 years ago, and got involved in the music industry. That's basically how I evolved into the music industry as a copyright royalty manager, into sales business affairs, into various companies from corporations, B&G, to smaller family-owned companies, and that's basically my whole stomping ground of how I teach myself the music industry. Yeah, like that, so, yeah.
What was your first job?
My first job?
After you dropped out of college, yeah, where? And what did you do exactly?
Okay, well, my first job in the music industry, you mean, because I did some here and there stuff. My first job in the industry was I started with B&G Music Publishing, the publishing part of the Bertelsmann Group, which is a very big German book publishing company they started off with. And they had, in the Netherlands, they had a publishing company, and they asked for a copyright assistant. And what we do is we register songs with the local society, with Stemra, and you will have to put in our mainframe system all the songs we get worldwide. You put it in the system, and that's it.
So it was you and a computer, for example.
Yeah.
I think that the emerging of universities and schools that are actually teaching people what the music industry really is. Do you think that if 30 years ago we would have had these universities, the music business and music itself would have been different today? If we had,
I think it would be more open. I think it would be much more open, so it would be also more open for discussion. Because what you have now is you have like single pillars. They start to grow from somewhere, more family-owned businesses or corporations. They grew upon experience about how they think it should be done. There's not a bad or a right way or a good way to do it. It's purely, that's how they done it, without any feedback from other companies or other people. Of course, there are some people who are talking to each other and of course working with each other, and makes them both a little bit better from experience. But I think if you have an academic background with specifically music industry experienced people telling you knowledge and teaching you about how things have been done in the music industry, and maybe you get an extra mindset of how things should be doing, or at least be more open and be more out of the box. I think that the music industry would be coping better with more technologies like internet, which was a groundbreaking technology. Which
that changed the whole music industry.
Yeah, the music industry could not cope with that.
Of course.
Yeah.
And after all these years working for these companies, what made you start Approved Services?
Well, basically because I was fed up with how the music industry was thinking. They were really old-fashioned thinkers. My last job was with Stranghold, which basically confirmed my thoughts that although you, as one person within a big company, you try to change things, it's very hard. And it's not the blame of the company or the blame of the people within the company. It's just hard if a company, a family-owned or a corporate, they have worked for decades through a certain system, like the music societies in the world. You just cannot change them from day one to day two. So what I tend to do is that I want to be more in touch with the artists and the composers, more the creative people who are maybe less knowledge from the business side and basically got taken advantage of. Basically, that's what I did when I signed deals for a company, whichever company I was working for. My main goal was to try to get all the rights for the best and for the longest time. So I basically knew how all the agreements were set up, and there were just some small things in the agreements which were very, very unfair towards the artist or composer. Because if you're an artist or a beginning composer and you look at this big corporation and say, okay, here we have like 10,000 euros and we're going to sign you, this and that, you don't have any notion of what you go, the only thing what you see is, oh wow, money. Somebody wants this, no, not even money, somebody can help me to make me famous or to get my music out there. I want, what every artist wants is they want to perform, they want to put out a record. That's it, an artist. A composer, I want to have my songs recorded by the best artist possible. So what you as a corporation will do, you will just take those things what an artist wants and you say, okay, that's what we're going to do for you.
Yeah,
You just have to sign here, we're going to take you to the top. And that's what happens, but they didn't know that they mostly signed all their rights away.
Which one came first? Approved services or approved sneakers? Which idea came first?
Well, approved sneakers is always alongside my music industry experience. I mean, I think 15 years ago my passion for sneakers started when I was a young kid. I already was in love with sneakers, which is part of this. Like I said, I'm a street kid. I like what happens on the street, so the hip hop era, everything what came out of America, baseball, basketball, everything was cool. So I liked the way people were wearing their clothes. It was intriguing for me. Music, it all comes together. It's not only, you cannot see music as one thing. Music is part of a culture, and within that culture, when you look at music, I come from the urban scene. So hip hop music is certain clothing, certain style of music, certain way of expressing yourself. And when I was fed up with the music industry, already had this sneaker thing beside on the side, which was for me something which not a business, but more like I like to do what I like. I like to do things to make a living what I like. I don't like to do things which I don't have a passion for. So what are the things I have a passion for? That's our sneakers and music. And when I was fed up with the music industry, already had this sneaker thing beside on the side, which was for me something which not a business, but more like I like to do what I like. I like to do things to make a living what I like. I don't like to do things which I don't have a passion for. So what are the things I have a passion for? That's our sneakers and music. And like I said, you say a shoe for me, a shoe is not a shoe. A shoe is what you wear, that's something, it's a part of your identity. And some people take it a few steps further, they become real collectors. For me, I was a collector into Michael Jordans. When I saw the Jordan 1, I was totally hooked, and I want to have every Jordan 1 in the world. So that was my addiction.
Yeah.
But the same with music, because I wanted to have all the music when it was into hip hop. I just wanted to have all the hip hop in the world because I wanted to know everything about hip hop. That's I think a little bit my weakness or my strength. Depends how you look at it. Because if I want to have something, want to have knowledge about it, I want to have the most deep knowledge as possible. And that's basically how I am, and that's how it started. And I just would start my own company with both my passions, and that works well, because if you don't have any passion, then I don't think you can do a business right.
Yeah, no, and if in the end, if you only work for the money, then you're not going to be satisfied as much as you work.
Not as satisfied as you want. And that's why. So you earn money to make sure you have the good quality of life you want to live. I think that's, if you have that balance, then it's a good thing. For me, it's also, I mean, I'm very flexible. I have 2 kids, 2 children, a wife. I take care of the children a little bit more, so I don't have a real job, in my opinion. I just do whatever is necessary to keep myself from the streets and make a living, but most importantly is enjoy life.
Where did the name Cool Kiwan come from?
Cool Kiwan, oh wow, that's real, again, going all the way back to my childhood, basically. And my last name is Leung, and Leung is in Chinese, means cool, like a cool breeze.
Oh.
And in China, you always have your last name first, and then your name. So it's like Leung Kiwan was Cool Kiwan. So okay, make it cool Kiwan. That's basically where it comes from.
If
But of course I was a cool kid,
of course, no, but
for sure.
if you could have a 30-minute chat with someone in the music industry,
A dirty minute?
30
30.
a 30-minute chat with
Okay.
someone in the music industry. Say someone was sitting right here where I am.
Okay.
Who would it be? One person
In the music
that
industry?
you've always wanted to talk to, have a chat with.
Okay, yeah, it would be Prince.
Prince,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, I don't know. I have such an admiration. Well, it was Prince and Michael Jackson. Those were two people. Michael Jackson, unfortunately, is deceased, but Prince, I had a little bit more, because he was a little bit more on the edge. Michael Jackson was like king of pop, no question about it, but Prince, when he came up, like, what is it going on here? And also because I came to work with his music, and everything he touched, he was such a genius.
What would be one piece of advice you would give us as students, as people who, now after these months, getting educated more on the music, on the business side of the music, what would be one piece of advice you would give us students, as just people that are very big advocates of the music itself?
Well, I think in the music industry or in any industry, basically where you want to work in or want to express your passion, is try to get the whole picture. Always try to get the whole picture, because you have to be knowledgeable of what you're doing. Even if you're only one part, small part of a complete industry, there's more things going on than only that part where you are working in. And if you have more knowledge of what the rest is doing, or at least have some notion of what the rest is doing, or how the things work and how things are getting triggered, it's like a clock. If you turn here, there will be all other stuff turning also. And if you don't know what the other stuff is doing or why they're going to turn, then you might get a problem, if you know what I mean.
True. No, and the more you educate yourself, the more
Knowledge
you're.
is power.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kiwan, we really want to thank you for this time you've dedicated for
No
this
problem.
interview. There's really a lot of good information and tips that, not even in the music side, but in life as youngsters that we're, coming up and having, graduating, seeing how life is going to, come at
man.
one point.
Real world is out there.
Yeah. No, and I think it's.
Don't be afraid of it. It's good for you if you know how to work in it. So, no problem. And thanks for inviting me for the interview. Great. Thanks, guys.